everyone, welcome to my channel once again. This is the second part of manual testing interview questions and answers. Let's go. Okay, the first question is, what is the difference between retesting and regression testing? Generally, retesting is done to check the initial bug found and fixed is working as it should. Then regression testing is used to sweep the application for defects that may have arisen from the change or other unknown residual bugs. Retesting ensures the original fault has been removed. Regression testing looks for the unexpected side effects. So when do we do retesting? Whenever we have raised a bug and that has been fixed by the developer, and they have assigned us back to retest. At that time we do the retesting whether the bug has been resolved or not, the issue has been resolved or not. So once that is done, they will provide a build, and there are chances that due to fixing of this bug, there are other related modules might have been impacted. So in that case, we will do the regression testing. Okay. The next question is, what is smoke testing? Smoke testing is a software testing method that is used to determine if a new software build is ready for the next testing phase. It is also called build verification testing or confidence testing. It assures that acute functionality of a program is working fine, and it is also known as the subset of acceptance testing. As a preliminary check of a software, smoke testing finds basic and critical issues in an application before more in-depth testing is done. If a piece of software passes a smoke test, QA teams then proceed with further testing. If a failure means the software must be handed over to development team. And what is sanity testing? So sanity testing is done to check the bugs has been fixed after the build. After receiving the software build, sanity testing is performed to ensure that the code changes introduced are working as expected. This testing is a checkpoint to determine if testing for the build can proceed or not. Sanity is a subset of regression testing, whereas smoke testing is the subset of acceptance testing. Yes. Then the fourth question is, what is the difference between defect severity and defect priority? This is the basic question mostly asked in the interviews. So what is priority? Priority indicates how soon the bug should be fixed and how much it is impacting the business. So that is the priority, and severity is it indicates the seriousness of the defect and the product functionality. Priority of defects is decided in consultation with the manager or client, while severity levels of the defects are determined by the QA engineers. Then the next question is, what are the different types of priority and severity? So this is also a basic question in the interviews. They might ask, what is high priority and low severity examples can you give? So in that case, the high priority, low severity is if the company name is misspelled in the home page of the website, then the priority is high and severity is low to fix it. Why the priority is high? Because most of the customer are looking into the home page name, and it might impact the business as well. So in that case, in that sense, it is called as high priority. But it won't impact this misspelled name of the company does not impact the functionality much. That's why it has low severity. High priority and high severity. The example is an error which occurs on the basic functionality of the application and will not allow the user to use the system. So in what case you will say high priority and high severity? Suppose you are pasting one of the URL on the browser. In that case, it is giving you some errors, some 404 found error, some server error. So in that case, it is impacting the business as well as it is impacting the functionality. That's the reason it is it would be of high priority and high severity. High severity and low priority is an error which occurs on the functionality of the application for which there is no workaround and will not allow the user to use the system but on click of link which is rarely used by the end user. Suppose in an application, in a portal, there is a link that is mostly not used by the users. So that is of low priority, means business wise generally they have observed that customers doesn't go to the link, but it is still there for some reference. In case that link is, once we click the link, it is throwing us error. In that case, that would be a, means that is impacting the functionality. So that is of high severity, and that is, as it is not impacting the business much, it is of low priority. And what about low priority and low severity? Any cosmetics or spelling issues which is within a paragraph or in the report, not on cover page or heading or title, but somewhere like some description is there about one of the product. So in that case, there is a spelling mistake, that is called, that is not impacting the business as well as that is not impacting the functionality. That's why it is of low priority and low severity. The next question is, what do entry and exit criteria mean? Meeting the entry criteria ensures the testing environment is set up correctly and test cases and test data are ready for execution. Entry criteria gives the prerequisite items that must be completed before testing can begin. The exit criteria in test execution confirm that the test execution phase has been completed according to the defined testing scope and objective. Exit criteria defines the items that must be completed before testing can be concluded. Then what is test deliverables and why it is important? Test deliverables are just those are like artifacts. Those are the tangible artifacts and documents generated during the software testing process. These items serve various purposes, from planning and execution to reporting and analysis. Test deliverables are a way to communicate the results of a software testing projects with stakeholders. They provide information what was tested and why it was tested. This may include test plan, test cases, bug reports and QA metrics. So why do we need test deliverables? Because we need to provide sufficient test evidence to the stakeholders. Whatever the requirement they have provided to us, whether all has been working properly, all has been tested properly, to provide that evidence we need to give test deliverables and in certain process. It is not like we can send the test results directly to the stakeholders. There would be some format, what we have done from beginning till the execution. So all the documentation part we can provide in test deliverables. What is defect density? So defect density measures the number of defective units of a product produced against the total number of units made. The KPI tracks the quality of different products to compare with each other as well as historic benchmarks. Defect density equal to total number of defects by total lines of code. For example, if you have 5 defects and 1000 lines of code, you divide 5 by 1000. This would result in a defect density of 0.005. It is a measure of the quality of the code. The better the software quality, the lower the density. Most teams calculate defect density as the number of defects per 1000 lines of code, that is KLOC. Then what is traceability matrix? Requirement traceability matrix is a document that maps and traces user requirements with test cases. There are three major components required for the traceability matrix, that is the requirement ID or requirement number that we get it from any BRD documents. And nowadays most of the companies are using Jira, so we can provide the Jira ID, the acceptance criteria ID, so that we can provide the traceability matrix in proper way. Then the second one is requirement type. Requirement type is grouping or categorizing the business requirements by functions. Then the last one is requirement description. So what is the requirement? The description is required to provide, so that it is easy to trace trace each requirement has been covered in our testing or not. So below I have provided one of the table where I have the given project name, project ID. This is just a dummy one. So whenever you are preparing a traceability matrix, you can refer to this one, so that it would be easy to trace all the requirements. You have to give the project name, the project ID, then the business requirement ID. As I told, most of the teams are following Jira to track their requirements, to provide their requirements. So we can also, instead of BRD ID, you can provide Jira ID. Then BRD 001 is the first requirement from the BRD. Then what is the business requirement or use case? What is the functionality that we are going to test? That is suppose application login and logout. So in that case there will be multiple test cases, and what are the functional requirement for this one? All the functional requirement will be listed under use case or functional requirement. Then what is the priority, whether high priority, medium priority, low priority, all those we need to mention as per the business perspective. Then a test case ID, the test cases that we have covered for the functional requirements, so that if in case we have missed any of the functional requirement in our test case, we can find out here, and in very early stage itself we can find out, means we can test everything as per the requirement document. So that's it for today. I will come up with some more questions later. Thank you so much, and please provide your feedback. Thank you.